here on Global Sim Racing Channel. Hello by the way, I am Craig King, and joining me in the booth is my director Daniel Costello, using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Now, if you've been living under a rock for the last 20 years, you probably don't know about Spa. That's a lovely vantage point, by the way, to watch racing. Why don't we have a track guide? Let's see what makes this track absolutely tick.
To Spa-Francorchamps. Less than an hour's drive east from the German border, this Belgian track has come to define racing for many different eras in the sport. It's no wonder it continues to entrance drivers when you look at the stats. The 7 kilometers over the course of a lap includes more than 330 feet in elevation change as it weaves its way through the Ardennes forest. Packed into this is 19 turns, some of which are considered among the most famous in the world of racing. Incredibly fast, and many include much of that signature elevation change. As jaw-dropping as the track is, you have to remember that this is the modern truncated layout. The old one, raced until 1979, was 14 kilometers in length, yet carried an average speed of 150 miles per hour. Present-day safety measures do cut down on the danger, but even in recent history, the circuit has proven deadly. It's clear why this track continues to be revered and respected by racers the world round.
Well, as we come back to this fantastic vantage point, I love this part of the track, but I love Spa completely. It's just one of these tracks that drivers love and, well, I don't say they hate, but they hate it if they don't win out here. Lots of overtaking spots, lots of hard braking zones, elevation changes for days. You don't realize the elevation change here at Le Combe really to make some moves. As there you go, there is the track map. I was going to say the place you look for overtaking is Le Combe. You want to look for an overtake in the chicane. You want to look for something down at La Fagna for 11 and 12. That's always going to be a very tricky place. But high speeds excuse me, a little bit of issues when you come to multi-class around here, because speed differences will be crucial out there today, especially with such a big field. It's going to be very tight. I can say as well, we've got Sagar Bashki
racing at earlier today. Spa definitely is up there with the history book.
And one person will be etching their name into history today as GTOs have been completed. There's still battles there. We'll get to that in a moment, because the GTPs is absolutely tense. Gabriel Martinez leads Jacob Reed by a win. To give you the permutations, both of them, well, Jacob's taking his drop week. Gabriel has a drop week in hand. So if Gabriel gets 0 points today and Jacob wins the race, on countback, it'll be the closest GTP victory ever in IMSA Vintage. He will win the championship. All Gabriel needs to do is make sure he stays and gets some points. I think a podium is what people were saying would be the deciding factor. I haven't got that sorted, but you look at those numbers, anything to gain. P3 still up for, yeah, still up there as well. Leski Aloma, well, you can scratch his name out. No Leski Aloma after week 3. But Christoph Lehner, Jack Lau Solson going to be battling for that last spot. Yuko Leskala, who I don't think is here tonight, so you can cross his name out as well. Andre Felipe Diaz will finish in 7th, maybe, unless Emerson Gordon will try and overtake him. But yeah, no Emerson Gordon. Andrew Blackman will be 9th. Fabian Numbrov will be 10th. All eyes on the top of those points there for the GTOs, as I was saying, Sega. Championship already wrapped up.
Over to the GTOs, it's 197 points for the man in P1. And Yoni Hagner is trying to chase that down, 34 points back. Noel Lundberg in 3rd place, 43 points back. Cal Young in 4th. Mickey Friesen in 5th. Emilio Dicciari in 6th. Josh Brain in 7th. Brandon White, Roman Bello, and Andreas Schuster in 10th.
Yeah, it could be interesting to see who gets on that last 2 spots of the podium for GTOs. Let's go over the race details, because as they just getting themselves ready for the last few laps of qualifying. Round 12 at 12. It's the big one right now, and it's 40 minutes around Spa. And that's going to be quite a short race in terms of laps due to the distance, but it's still going to be 40 minutes. Open setup. So you use the baseline, use the setup you made yourself, or one provided by the community. But if you crash, your day is done. There is no spare car. There is a drive-through, however, at 17 incident points. It'll be a disqualification at 25 incident points. And if you know Spa, And everybody knows Spa, those incident points can rack up pretty easily out there. So one to keep your eyes out for is there's the championship leader. Lovely overhead shot of Gabriel Martinez's car. Got the number 3 on his bonnet today as he gets ready to start his first lap. And remember, it's actually classic pits, so he's going to be finishing his first lap. And what that means for classic pits as he goes into pole position, that means that La Source turns into the last corner. La Source usually is the first corner, so that opens up another shot to make some overtaking capabilities around there. As you can see, Gabriel Martinez right away at 2:01.223. No time at the moment by Jacob Reed, as he'll be coming across the line very shortly. The last thing he wants to see is him behind Gabriel, and that's what he is right now as Martinez heads on down to Brussels.
Here we go through the qualifying session with just 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining on the clock. The drivers have to get the hurry up and go on sooner rather than later to get these laps in. It's a very slow and long lap here. We're seeing lap times trickle in around the 2:01s and the 2:20s, respectively, for the classes.
Yeah, well, that at the top's probably going to be all she wrote. Jacob Reed just took a slowdown as Gabriel Martinez continues on through. No off track for Gabriel as he comes through Campos into Stavlo. A little bit of gravel kicked up by some drivers earlier on. And on board we'll go with Gabriel Martinez as he'll come to Blanchimont. And look at the speed he'll be carrying right now. It won't be a lift, it would just be on the throttle. Look at the boost gauge, still staying where it is. And now where do you want to brake here? Hard braking for the bus stop. He's already got 3 temps up there at the moment. And I wonder if he's going to extend that time. I do wonder. Seamus Power as well, as you saw in P4. Lars Solson P6. I know it says no time, but they have set times. Gabriel Martinez will come across the line. Noel Lumber, by the way, yes, pole position so far in the Audi GTOs, but can Gabriel seal up another pole position? This could go all the way to win the championship. 2 minutes, 0.99, well, 933, sorry. Yeah, I don't think anyone's been in that time.
No, and I don't think anybody's gonna get close to that time either. Noel Lumberg setting the same margin right now to Dechari behind. A nearly 1 second gap is gonna be a huge margin to try to close down over the race distance.
Well, some of these GTOs are going to have to do a lot to get around because it is the classic pits. It's really tough to get a lap in there as Noel Lumbo's got 35 seconds left to go. Mickey Friesen just going to come across the line. It's pole position for Mickey Friesen out of nowhere. His last lap was good enough for pole, but what can Lumbo do? Look at him fighting as he comes around the bus stop. Won't have to cross this line. That's the new line, but we're going to the old line. And he's got 16 seconds to get around. Might be the last GTO to set a time out there. 19 GTOs. I think we'll have 7 of them unable to set a lap time. But Noel Lumberg with 5 seconds. Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. If you get it at the very end, he does indeed. And that, everyone can breathe a sigh of relief if you're fans of Noel Lumberg. He gets that lap in, and it is pole. So let's go over the runners and the drivers. I almost said the riders, but we're driving today. As Gabriel Martinez will lead the whole field. And the number 3 is in P1 right there with Christoph Jack right beside him. Jacob Reed will be behind his championship rival in 3rd. Seamus Power, a really good 4th there. Timothy Reed with a return into 5th and Gail Gonzalez 6th. Lars Solson 7th. Brendan Lim will be 8th and Carlos Peralta 9th. Stephanie Meijman will take the 10th, which on to 11th for the GTPs will be the number 10, Dylan Freckleton. In Gleb Noviok will take into 12th. Juan Antonio Garcia Alba 13th, and then Sander Babruga will take 14th. Then it's Andrew Blackman, the last of the time qualifiers, in 15th, which means that Carlos Solano, Lance Simon, Eki Anderson, Moise Escobar Gallego, and Inaki Valero not setting a time, and 2 more as well. Even more drivers not been able to set a time out here because Dominic Okioyuso. I got that wrong. Sorry, Jake, and sorry, Dominic, and Max Zeimer will be 22nd. 19 GTOs brought to you by Sega.
In the GTO category, it's none other than Noel Lumberg in P1. Mickey Friesen trying to chase him down. Josh Brain in P3. Emilio DiCiari in P4. Romain Bello in 5th. Brendan White in 6th. Shady Ahmad in 7th. And Martin Krejcik in 8th. Mikko Slavalainen in 9th. Gregor Braith in 10th. Looking further back, Adrian Leone is going to be in 11th. Alongside him, Joni Berg, Juan Velez, and then Thorben Pollock. Further back, Eddie Theobald and Tobias Delmuth, Alexander Bitter, Sal Baez Carrera, and Paul Villar.
Quite a few drivers unable to set a lap time. A lot of that is due to being classic pits. It just changes the complexion of the racing out there. And of course, it will change the complexion of the racing as the first run. It will be basically a straight line with a little bit of a lift going up Eau Rouge and Radion before Le Colmes. Noel Lundberg probably just put the car out of gear there and rolled backwards. Here's the track conditions, of course. 38 Celsius, 101 Fahrenheit. Don't need to worry too much about that wind today. It's just enough to just make you feel the hair breeze pass. And you just get that feeling. For the GTOs, because only Joni Hagner or Noel Lundberg can get second and third. One of them's going to have to get second. One of them's getting third. We saw Joni Hagner has 9-point lead to Noel Lundberg, but, well, where is Joni today? Nowhere to be found. So that means that Lundberg's gonna have to win realistically, or just hope for the best. Might even just get it due to the fact there's only been 8 races completed by all the drivers, and normally this is where we start to get ready for 40 minutes of action. But of course, like most historic series, we're using the classic pits, and if you've ever been to Spa, sitting down that straight to see the classic start line, fantastic when you get a second support series around there. But you always see them line up there. You always think, oh, I'm gonna watch them start there. No, you don't. You have to wait. The pace car will also go in after the source, so Gabri will not be able to crank it down on the throttle to come on down. Cold tires will still be a bit of an issue when we get to the GTOs. The slightly cooler tires, or slightly warmer tires, that Gabri Martinez will be controlling this field. With Elena Jack just going a little bit wider there. I wonder if Gabri will be inclined to just do a bit of a jump here, trying to see if he can catch them napping. But the man he doesn't want to get, he wants to keep napping. Well, he's right behind him, and he's not going to be able to make Jacob make a mistake right now. Wait for the green flag as they come down for the last time this season. 40 minutes is go for IMSA Vintage, and it is a good start by Jacob Reed. I know Gabri Martinez has gone on pretty well, but Jacob side by side with Elena Jack, they almost come together, and Christoph does get that position back. Everybody going up as much as they can. You can see Seamus Power there trying to pull ahead. He's looking for an opportunity. They're going to go 3 wide. Gail Gonzalez is going to take the meet in the middle. They'll go 3 wide. Audi GTOs are coming right away. Jacobs almost got into the side of Seamus Power. GTO's right behind, a 2 wide.
And 3 wide here, coming down in towards the first braking zone for the GTOs. Lumberg, Friesen, and DiCiari all throwing their elbows out. It might be the last race of the season, but no holds bar. It's going to be elbows out, and the drivers are trying to leave their mark here at Spa-Francorchamps.
Jacob, did you just make that move around the outside of No Name? You can call it Jackie, you can call it Speaker, it's still No Name to me. And Jacob Reed around the outside, fantastic move, but he's already lost a 1.5 seconds to the leaders after having that little bad scrap at the start. Had a really good run to go through Eau Rouge and Radion, but then just did not get the momentum out there as well. Emilio DiCiari's had a moment as well in the GTOs. That's unfortunate as we're keeping watch with Timothy Reed, and right in front is Stephanie Mageman, who's had a fantastic start. G'day, Stephanie. Having a fantastic start is the Aussie driver. Now up 4 places. It will be 5 right now. Get past Gail Gonzalez, and that's going to be as cool as you like. Already up there, 5 places on a single lap at Spa.
Holy smokes, Mageman on a run of things right now, controlling the grid and the pace, but can they keep it up for an additional 38 minutes of running? It's going to be a long and very punishing race on the tires and on the drivers around Spa. Now drivers all around are trying to challenge for position themselves as we ride on the gearbox of the number 11 with the Australian driver.
Yeah, Stephanie's got a real nice run right now onto Seamus Power. Starting to lose out. Seamus probably doesn't have the right aero package, because look how much Jake has been able to basically gap him in the mid part of this track. And yes, Stephanie looking for it is Gail Gonzalez in that mock-up Toyota GT1 on a Nissan ZX Turbo. That's very cursed, but that's how drivers like to race out here. And I do wonder, look at Stephanie looking for the ability to just put the nose in and be aggressive through Brussels. And well, it helps trying to catch up to Seamus Power. Not a lot else you can do out there as we get back to the GTO. They haven't seen a lot of the GTOs. I reported that we did have Emilio Zacciari have a bit of a spin. Went a bit too wide down at Pujon. Now you've got Josh Brain trying to battle Brandon White with some backmarker GTPs who have not had the best of time. Neither has Forbin Pollock right now. Forbin's just gone and had a little bit of a trip to the kiddie litter all on his own as they're trying to fight through the hot temperatures, get past Thomas Delmuth. But the hot temperatures really being hindrance for these GTOs.
Looking back here, it'll be Josh Brain's battle right now, but this time it's not with the GTO. It's one of the GTPs making their way through the field, and now that they're sight unseen and free and clear, the battle can resume between himself and White up the road. Excuse me, just as I say that, a little bit of kerfuffle as the 20... No. Is that the commentator's curse if I've ever seen it?
I wouldn't say no, because I don't know what Brandon White was doing. I don't know if that was him getting hit and moved over, or if he actually just rolled himself into the line that Emilio Zacciari was going. He took the hit, then he started to move on. For some reason, he started moving onto an active track, and drivers took response. Yeah, as he just went to make a move, he started rolling. He got hit and rebounded. Emilio Zacciari, that's our junior champion in the GTOs. Nowhere for him to go. And that is so unfortunate, and just some really bad track awareness there in what's happened. There's more issues out there. Mickey Friesen, remember, he was P2 to start this race. He had a really good start. Why is he all the way down there in there, you wonder? Well, he came out of Stavlo, and he got tapped in the rear by Dominic Okihuso. GTP traffic just really causing me a hindrance right now. Okihuso goes into the pits with some big wing damage. But for Mickey, well, if it doesn't rain, it pours. It's not been a good season for the American.
Oh, man. And it's just not going well, unfortunately, for them. A few drivers, unfortunately, taken out in this, and it's just not going their way. Emilio Zacciari, definitely being one of the fan favorites, is ripping the headset off at this point. I think he needs time to cool off.
I think that's a sign of my day is done, especially when the car's going barrel rolling. Not a lot he can do out there. That's such a shame. Well, Carlos Peralta, Lars Stolzen in the GTP, still battling. Laus, you got to turn back the clock around the outside of Blanchimont. Lars Stolzen, you're turning back the clock, but he can't get the braking for the bus stop. And he had that move sorted if he could get that hard braking in. Did not trust the tires, did not trust the braking. Meanwhile, Jacob Reed, right there on the last corner. Oh, it's weird when I say La Source at the last corner, but the camber, he overshot the corner there, did not follow the contours of the camber, losing out to Elena Jack. He knew how important it was to get back up there. Not a lot he can do, and it's important he makes moves here with racing. The track is big. The delta's 20, or just under 20 seconds around here, and he'll pull alongside now. Elena Jack will have to do it the long way round. He has to know that this is going to be a racer's track today. Multi-class traffic will only happen once unless he just gets caught up by some back markers, but Elena Jack realizes not worth the fight. He's got his own little battle that he's trying to take right now for P3 in the standings. So Laus is happy right now. Oh, sorry, Christoph's happy right now. Wait, definitely when he would hear that Laus Olsen couldn't make the move done. Jacob Reed back up into P2. Got to find 3 seconds, though, to get past Gabriel Martinez and then hope for a miracle.
Long way back, Jacob Reed, 3 seconds down and out right now. But what can the number 4 do as he parties with Jacob Reed? And can they tango to work their way forward? Timothy Reed right now sitting back in P7, the number 15 charging through the field as well. Unfortunately, hasn't gone his way. He's down 2 positions on the good.
Yeah, not the best way, Timothy Reed, as well for him. It's not been a bad start, though. Spa's always a treacherous for starting. If you're aggressive enough to make moves at the start of Spa, then you're able to make some positions. I'm too much of a cautious driver. That's why I'm not into these races right now, because I wouldn't be good enough to be in these races. But you've got to be aggressive to really make some moves out there at the start of a race. And now you're 8 minutes into the race. Now you can just start to just hold back, and now you can start to attack. Shadi and Mads looking to attack as well, up 4 places to start the race. Granted, I know we had an incident with Mickey Friesen, who's now running in P6. A couple other drivers having some moments out there, but Shadi and Mads worked to get into this P3. Roman Bello up there into 2. May have to go and have a look at the old stats in a minute, because I can't remember the last time Roman Bello was seen on a podium step in a GTO. That's quite a while ago. So it could be interesting if Roman Bello, the Frenchman, can hold off Shadi and Madders. We have a couple replays here, and this is what happened already to Juan Antonio Garcia Alba. Too much curb, too much sausage. Oh, well, he parked himself into the pit lane, but unfortunately, everyone's got to go through the pit lane as finally gets on going. That could have been a blocked pit lane for some drivers.
Oh my goodness. It was one of those Austin Power moments coming down pit lane. But here comes a move. This could be a look for P3 and P4's position right now as the trio continues to battle it out. But up in the front, who is it in the lead? It's none other than Noah Lundberg, who's escaped up the road, still quiet but deadly with his charge. But again, I'm going to question the strategy choice. We know that these drivers have no aids associated with these cars. So is it a possibility to burn up the tires too early on?
I wouldn't say you're burning the tires up, not in this temperature right now, as Gabriel Martinez continues on. No, I don't think you'll be looking at burning tires. Never say never. I was looking at those Roman Bello stats for people that are stat nerds like me. He actually had a podium earlier this season. I felt bad. It was his first podium in 2 years when he took P3 at Miami Autodrome. This would be his best result since he won at Alton Park. So, yeah, it could be very interesting. It's been a while for him as he holds on. Now, Josh Brain joining the battle here as well. And Shadi Ahmad having to hold off. I think these 3 have to contend that Noel Lundberg has gone. 7 seconds up the road, almost a second faster. They're just going to have to keep on fighting on their own right now, because it does feel like this is going to be a 3, maybe 4-car battle for the last 2 podium spots.
This is an epic battle. I knew when I signed up for this, I was going to be having a great time today. This is just pure entertainment. The boys out here are putting on a fantastic show. And again, for the final event of the season, to see so many drivers show up and show out, to be so committed to this league is just fantastic to see. And I mean, the championship could mathematically be decided tonight, right?
The championship will definitely be decided in the GTPs, GTOs. Well, I think that could be Noel Lundberg to get that P2 in the championship for the GTPs, though. Elena Jack is trying to make sure he seals this P3 up, as they're almost got 28 minutes ago. Jacob Reed, he's not having a good time. I think they had a couple back markers they had to deal with. Christoph just dips a bit too much of the tire into the grass at Campos there, and through Stavlo he goes. and not a lot else he can do. Not a lot more that Timothy Reed can do apart from get the car into the pits, as he lost the car himself on the exit of Lafanya. A very weird one to happen there actually at Lafanya, and well, it just came off as Elena Jack continues on. I do want to know, where does Christoph look for these moves? Another a little slow exit there for Jacob, but nothing to worry too much. But there's a car up ahead. It's a GTO. I wonder what this is going to do for traffic. I think they'll both get by in time, but that would be great if Jacob could get some traffic to help him.
It's as if there was a saying that could be coined and termed, traffic giveth, traffic taketh away. Man, if someone could coin that, I bet they could put that on a t-shirt or something. But here and now, the traffic does not take it away from either of the GTP drivers as we come down the Camel Straight and into Lacombe's for, again, another time of asking. Christoph looks forward and tries to find a way by Reed ahead, but for now, he sits back and waits and stares at that wing, and he knows who's behind the cockpit of that car.
Yeah, well, they're starting to go through the traffic, and there's not a lot of traffic left here as Elena Jack trying to go around the outside of a slow Gregor Braith there, and well, not a lot Gregor could have done. He had to keep moving. He couldn't just slam on the brakes there. He was in a very treacherous situation, but held a line, not the line, but he held a line and was predictable. But that has hindered Christoph a little bit, and well, I think if you want to get your GSRC traffic give up, traffic take away shirts, you can't. I'm selling them myself. I'm going to be selling those myself. I'll probably get that made up into a statement. But regardless, it is traffic give up and traffic take up right now, as Jacob had to do a little bit of a lift through Campos into Stavlo, and that allows Christoph to get back in the slipstream. But I wonder if he's going to have to do a lift when they come through Blanchimont.
Now traffic again at Blanchimont. Yeah, wowza, that was a close call. I almost saw the front end of Christoph's car take off in flight as he comes close with that Bananamobile in the rear view mirror now. That GTO was closer than ever. Taking a look ahead now at Josh Brain's battle. He's still locked in arms with Bello and Ahmad right now, and just stuck in this battle pack. And as traffic makes their way through, we see time being given and time being taken away. But for the most part, these boys are seeped like tea right now in this battle, and it doesn't seem to be going anywhere as we see Brain pick a defensive line and just choose exactly where. Excuse me, that must have been a slowdown penalty coming up the hill.
Yeah, it was a slowdown penalty. Cut too much of Radion and had to take a slowdown, and he's managed to serve that in a really good way, because yes, he's lost a bit of time. He's lost 2 positions, kept just in the slipstream here, and when traffic just helps him now, and you always forget about how the faster cars can help the slower cars, has helped a little bit there for Josh. But he's now got more traffic behind him as he comes into Pujon. And Stephanie, we just saw that around the outside. 3 cars just went around the outside there as Stavalainen right in the back there, looking by, trying to see if he can get past the challenge in front. Not a lot we've seen. Again, Adrian Leone up ahead, just a few seconds ahead, trying to catch up. You can see the speed differences here. We got a quick replay. Look at this. There has been an issue out here. Alf Stolson goes in. Oh, and he's trying to keep the speed up. And oh, yeah, that looks like Dylan Freckleton. I can always tell a lightning purple car when I see one. That's unfortunate. He's lucky that he's still got some noses there, as these drivers 3 wide for a quick second, and Roman Bello holds on. Whoa, blinking, you miss it. Laus is on fire, and these drivers still looking to find some moves. Up ahead as well, Shadi Ahmad battling with Mickey Friesen. Ahmad's going to have to go around the long way for the second part of the bus stop. Says no, and he actually holds on though. Actually, let's just hold on for a quick second. 3 wide they'll go, and Shadi Ahmad will have to take a very interesting line here and backs out of it. Not a lot he can do there. Some good moves by Mickey Friesen.
Really good moves by Friesen as people have to make tough choices through the traffic to decide which lines they want to take. The right one has to be made, otherwise the consequences are going to be steep. Here comes, oh my goodness, wowza, pass on the grass. As who is that in that GTP trying to shake through the field? That is absolutely a menace right now as they cut through the GTOs, but they're doing so with grace and style, getting by Roman Bell and Shady Ahmad. Here, the 3-4-5 combo in the GTOs.
Well, that was Carlos Peralta, who went a little bit too wide. I don't think he picked up there. On the top of Eau Rouge and Radion is always a struggle for the faster cars because of how they take different lines up there, and you have to just cope with the moments out there and hope that you're able to just hold a line like these are going to do. As Josh Brain gets to move down into Pujon. Really good. And where's Gabri Martinez? Where's Gabri Martinez? We got to get back to the leader because Gabri Martinez has just had a big moment. Well, he tried to go for Campos. He didn't know where Campos was. Gabri Martinez went off into the kidney litter, found himself managing to hold on it away from the gravel, and now Christophe Jack, hello, he's going to try and do what Lance Olsen couldn't do, around the outside of Blanchimont. Can he hold this around the outside the second part of the bus stop? They're still side by side. This is brilliant from Christophe Jack, picking up on a wounded Gabri Martinez, a slower Gabri Martinez, and you can see Martinez has got better top speed there as he starts to close off. Real good line there from Christophe Jack, but there's still overlap. Boys, you gotta think about your championship here. They're gonna go side by side. Just watch out for this. No way they go side by side up on Road to Radion. And they do. They hold it. Nobody gets to slow down. Gabri Martinez holds it. But here comes Elena Jack. Still side by side. Got the line. Gabri trying to push him and say, don't take the middle. Don't take the middle. Side by side they'll go again. Late break-in from Elena Jack. It's a little bit dicey there. A little bit of a touch. But Christophe Jack just makes one of the moves of the season. It's all started at Blanchimont. Hold on your horses. Gabri Martinez again. Here comes the aggression. 3 wide with Magnum. Still battling. Still 2 wide with Magnum. And say, get out the way. An Australian internet. Well, that was a little bit risky. That's just absolute carnage. They're now still 2 wide. You just see a lap around here. This is crazy. More drafting, more bumping. More driving going on. Somehow, Magnum around the outside onto Pujon.
And it's not over yet. It continues its bout over and over again here as the 11 trades paint with the number 4 through Stavlat. We're going to go all the way to the line, but right now it's going to be the Australian driver ahead up into 3rd position. But I know this isn't done yet. The squabble isn't complete. The conversation isn't done. Who's going to get the last word in? I feel like it's going to be the number 4 here and now going into the bus stop chicane. He's going to get alongside, present himself. They're going to rub a little bit of paint, get wheel to wheel, and the inside line belongs to the number 4. But now the switchback begins for the number 11. It's going to be a drag to La Source. The start-finish line isn't quite here yet, but for now, it's going to be another bump in the door for the number 4, who's going to go wide at La Source and loses out the run for a moment.
Wow. What an interesting 2 minutes we just saw there. That's some of the hottest 2 minutes you'll see around Spa for a long time. And that was a little bit of elbows out there for Magnum and Elena Jack. Let's have a replay of this is what started everything. Welcome to the craziest 2 minutes you will see this season in IMSA Vintage, because Gabri, the rear, said no. And this is almost like we're seeing on Monaco or a street track. That's as close as you can get to the tire barrier. Holds off, brilliant. Jacob said, okay, I'm going for it. Takes that lead away. Now, Gabri's still slow. He's got gravel on the tires. He's trying to get those tires back up to temperature. He's also trying to get the speed up. And now you see Elena Jack was going on, and The rest, as they say, is history. Shadi Ahmad come into the pits with damage. While that was happening, Roman Bello and Eki Anderson had some issues as well. That's a black flag for Shadi Ahmad. I do know that Eki Anderson and Roman Bello, usually when two cars are towed together, it usually means they've had a coming together, which is a bit unfortunate there. So take another name out as Shadi Ahmad will come through out of his black flag, but leaves one man very happy to see it. Noel Lundberg has a 10-second lead to the rest of the field.
What a commanding drive for the man with the number 1 attached. Lawson Olsen, no! Taking a trip to pit lane automatically with a tow. Unfortunately, the race did not go their way this evening.
Another driver losing it through Lafanya. This is what happened to Lars Olsen, just trying to get it. Now, the tap of the brakes, and I think what actually started that probably was the car getting unsettled, rolling over too much of that inside curve at Lafanya. Everyone doing their best. Hold the brakes, Lars. And I know he's trying to get out of the way, but hold the brakes, and that's terminal damage. He decides to park it. That does mean that Elena Jack, providing he finishes the race, will have P3 in the championship. As Martinez is pushing right now. I'm looking at the track map. They will get a chance to go around again through the traffic. The traffic is so spread out right now. I think 12 remaining or 13 remaining GTOs out there. So still got a chance as Elena Jack goes on. Gail Gonzalez behind. A little bit of an issue, but here's Shadi Ahmad. I believe it was a black flag for not getting the slowdowns or not serving the slowdowns, sorry. And we've seen a lot of that today. And the key culprit, Oppo Rouge Radio.
100%. The track limits here come at you faster than a quick thing in Quicksville. And even with the new gravel traps that were added to this layout of the circuit, it still is easy to get off track limits at multiple parts of the circuits. Rouge and Radion being one of the many culprits across the racetrack. Pouan being another easy one to slip your way through as well on exit at both parts of the corner.
Well, I do know that it was Noel Lundberg leads the way. Martin Krajcik, everyone, I see some of the chat talking about it. Yeah, Martin Krajcik is up in a podium spot at the moment. And because of what happened to Ahmad, because of what happened as well to the Chari, because Roman Bello is well of an incident, that the whole GTO field has been spread open right now. And there's not a lot of racing out there. We do have the de facto battle for P8, of course, but as Noel Lundberg now goes on, it's just really 15 minutes left to drive and get to the line for the Dutchman. Confirm that confirm that P2 in the championship. What a way to do it. And for Jacob, well, he's doing everything he can, but Gabriel Martinez right behind is doing everything he needs to do to just make a surprise. Well, it would be a surprise. Many people never would have thought Gabriel Martinez would be the champion in the GTPs with the caliber. But one thing he's been able to do this season is connect with the car. By connecting with the car a lot, he's really done it. But you saw him get his elbows out a little bit earlier there with Majam and Elena Jack. Doesn't need to get his elbows out right now. He's just keeping it calm. The last thing he needs is to lose time to this man. He might win the championship with P2, but I'm sure Gabriel's thinking about beating the Worcester man. As Jacob Reed.
The Worcester man, Jacob Reed, huh? We'll have to start making
the Worcester man from where he's from, Worcestershire or Worcestershire, as the Americans would say.
Worcestershire. Yes, I think I said it right that time. But Jacob Reed, the UK pilot, doing a great job tonight. I mean, the entire field has just put up a fantastic show from the green flag drop to where we are now. It's been so exciting. We've seen some single flag formation chasing for multiple laps, and that takes a skill in of its own right to be able to chase another car, as Jacob Reed was getting chased down earlier on by the rest of the GTP field. Gabriel Martinez right now was leading by a commanding gap for so long until he unfortunately threw it away with a solo mistake. Now he charges back to where he wants to be. We've seen some 3 wide action. We've seen some 2 wide action last nearly 2 entire laps. What else could we ask for here from the GSRC IMSA Vintage Series?
Maybe I don't want to see a 4 wide. I think we've seen that as well. Andrew Blackman comes out of the pits after taking some repairs out there. Didn't have the best of starts. Going to be a few laps down, but going to come back out here and the dreaded words, just here for safety rating right now. See what they can get. Gil Gonzalez as well, trying to catch up to Seamus Power after the start. After that start, I haven't really talked a lot about Seamus Power. Had a really good start out there, but hasn't really gone to plan for him right now. He's now down 1 position. Gil Gonzalez is a net 0 as Gil goes past Juan Velez. Yoni Berg up ahead for Shadi and Mad. And now Seamus Power with a slowdown. So that's going to help Gil Gonzalez right now. As there's Gonzalez just hitting Malmedy is both the drivers. As Shadi and Mad just there going a little bit wide. And that's going to help Seamus. 2 cars between him and Gil Gonzalez. That's going to help him a little bit when it comes to time.
Here comes the move now, or at least the mounting attack from Mr. Ahmad. And the South African gets that one done with relative ease as Joni Berg dives out of the way, coming through Pouan. Whoa, no. Big incident there. And that's involving Adrian Leon, the Argentine driver, the number 25, seemingly caught up with a little bit of traffic by the looks of it.
Or more the fact that Stephanie Mayhem went into the back there. A little bit of a moment there. Let's have a look at the replay, and I do wonder if this is the case of braking. I wonder if Stephanie just missed the braking. Yeah, straight away on the apologies right there into the chat. Looks like just missed the braking point there. Had a little rush of blood to the head. That was never a I'm sending it to try and make the overtake. It was just I just want to just keep the momentum going, and broke a little bit too late there. Unfortunate. And thankfully no serious damage. Well, he says no serious damage. Yeah, no serious damage. We're gonna have to do it all again. Catch back up to Christoph Elena-Jack, who is only now half a second behind Stephanie.
Only half a second there, but my eyes still rest on the Jacob Reed, Gabriel Martinez battle, and that gap being at 2.4 seconds. And my math is done on a cocktail napkin and with a crayon, of course, as a commentator. So trying to calculate how many laps we have remaining and how fast Gabriel Martinez needs to be. Right now, looking at the data, the last lap around for Jacob Reed was a 2:03.551. Looking at Gabriel Martinez, it was a 2:02.333. So he's only gaining around 0.8 a lap. Is that enough time on the board for him to not only catch, but for him to eventually get past?
It might be Stephanie as well, trying to see if they can get a result. I don't think we've ever seen Stephanie in the series, and what a debut it would be for the championship if this was, you know, first time out, getting a podium. Got to get it as well, first of all. That's going to be the next thing for them. But you never know. That's a very ambitious. That's always ambitious. The overspeed there. You need to be behaving for the overspeed before Blanchimont. And is that going to cause an issue right now? Elena-Jack will know that Mayron will want to try and go this around the outside of the first part of the bus stop. They will have an overlap right now and just try to tighten up, but it's so tight, and then it's tighter than it should be when you got a car side by side with you as Elena-Jack holds on to it. Overspeed. I know you got the overspeed there, but sometimes you've got to accept that you have to just back out of it.
At one point, is it a late block? Or at what point is it a defensive move, especially at Blanchimont? It's not a place that you really necessarily want to go side by side at full speed. And can you trust the partner you're going alongside with as well to not drift out wide, to give you a little love tap when we're going nearly 200 miles an hour? The chase is back on between the number 11 and the number 4 going into the final 8 minutes. The gap isn't coming down as fast as I'd like it to between Jacob Reed and Gabriel Martinez. The last lap's looking a lot better for Jacob Reed this time by. It was 2:02.0 compared to a 2:02.6 from Martinez.
Yeah, Gabriel's getting some real good, well, I say that, didn't have the best of time through the traffic last lap, but really getting the best of the lot there through the traffic, but no more traffic left, and it's all going to be now, I think, for the last 8 minutes of the race, it's just going to be all on pace out there right now. And I do wonder what pace does Gabriel have. If Gabriel wants to take the lead away from Jacob, be a great season for Jacob. Just unfortunate if it does end up to Gabriel Martinez. I think the maths will come out for Gabriel to win the championship as it stands, as more drivers continuing on. Gabriel looking very good to have a very convincing first title. Noel Lundberg will get another victory. I'm not entirely sure how many victories that is for Noel Lundberg. That if he gets this one, it's not as many as Valenteus. As remember, Valenteus taking all 3 vintage crowns this season. I mean, never heard of before, never heard of now, and seen once. Will we see it again? We don't know. Noel Lundberg, though, pushing on. There's the 2 leaders, because you got the leader of the GTO is about to be lapped once again, but the leaders of the GTP, Jacob Reed. Well, I just want to say that we are at 75% of the race. Well, we're over 75%. We're done basically at the end of the race. 7 minutes to go, and regardless, Gabriel's going to get points. It's going to be a confirmed. There's going to be points on the board for Gabriel Martinez, which also means that that's it. There's nothing left to say. Gabriel is the 2026 Season 2 champion in GTP. Yes, 2.5 seconds behind Jacob Reed right now, but nothing Jacob could do now will count. Even if Gabriel crashes out, Gabriel still gets classification points. This is it. It's confirmed. Gabriel Martinez wins the championship. Jacob will be second. Elena Jack will be confirmed third in the championship right now. But we've still got 6 minutes left of the race to go, so we might as well continue racing.
We are still going to go racing. The drivers are still going to push it as hard as they possibly can. And I know Martinez is not giving up, especially when he can see Jacob Reed right up the road. The blood is boiling in his veins a little bit. It's the final race of the season. I know he wants to walk away with a win.
And this will be a driver that would love to get some good results on a first time around Spa. Again, I don't think we've seen Gleb Novikov, sorry, around here before, so it'll be the first time. And as I say that, there's your commentator's curse. That's a very strange one. Just braking on the curb upset the car. Well, it's been a while since I've had such a peaceful commentator's curse, because usually I'm a little bit too excited, but that's so unfortunate. They're braking on the curb. Car got unsettled. Try to save it, and you never save the car. But the prototype will just snap back at you, and that's unfortunate. Oh, I was actually just going to say, it actually confirmed it was not a braking on the curb. Accidentally shifted to first gear. Yeah, that's going to do it when the car goes flat out there. It was an absolute misshift there. Going from fourth down to first. You can do it. You shouldn't do it. And that's unfortunate there for Gleb, who could have had a really good first day in the office. But this man's also looking for a nice day in the office. Martin Cradrick, been a while since we've seen him on the podium steps.
Looking right now at the final 4, it's going to be drivers all trying to just make it to the checkered flag tonight. It's been a long day of racing for everybody. Temperatures have been high, but mostly mostly, I should say, we've come out with our noses clean. Drivers have escaped with their lives, getting involved in 3 wide tussles 2 wide, and even some wishes of 4 wide situation may have been coming out, but the commentator's curse did take out a couple of drivers this evening. But for right now, Jacob Reed, Gabri Martinez, that gap has come down to within 1 second going on to the final lap. Is any form of traffic going to help out here as we look at the timing tower?
Traffic update. Your eye in the sky says nothing. Although I say that, Jacob Reed just getting held up by a couple back markers, and look at the gap. Gabri's got that down to 1.1 and took 4/10 out that last time by him. Looking at the timing map, 2 to go. I don't see anybody. Yeah, I don't see anybody that's able to now really harass them. I think there'll be 1, maybe 2 cars left when it comes to the traffic. But your eye in the sky right now says Gabri Martinez is looking to push on. And I wonder if that little momentum shift there by Jacob, the traffic's not worked for him today. Gabri just gets a little bit of a head start, a little bit of an advantage. Going to be very interesting for that final lap. And also talking of interesting, Christophe Jack is around at Le Combe. Just going a bit too much fast on Thomas Delmuth there, who had a bit of a moment through Le Combe. Christophe had nowhere to go. This is the moment out there. Yeah, Christophe has to take that conventional line that he was taking, and I think it was just a miscommunication there. Delmuth, unfortunately, going. That's a heavily damaged car from Christophe. He's trying to get that back, but he won't. His saving grace, well, he has got the black flag, is, well, he is going to finish ahead of Lars Olsen. That should still be his P3 in the championship. Gabri Martinez continues to push on. Just a couple more laps to go. This will, well, not a couple more corners to go. Not a couple more laps, a couple more corners. And we're going to get 2 more minutes to go in this race. They come to La Source. When I say 2 more minutes, don't look at that clock at the top of the screen. We know that Barney's going to be waving the white flag. Yeah, 1 more lap. And this is it now. What has Gabri got? There is Jonny Berg ahead, and they'll probably come into play later on in the lap. But the gap now less than a second. And Martinez is going to have to be on everything right now. Championship is sealed up, and Jacob gets a good run around the traffic. That's going to help. 6 seconds up the road is the next car. Yes, I think that's going to probably be play factor here. Here comes the Serpentine. Jacob having to do that pretty early. Not the best there that he would like right now. Wouldn't want to go on the defense early, but unfortunately has no choice. 007 camera shows you just what you need to see right now. Gabri Martinez continuing and harassing, putting the pressure, understeers a little bit, try to turn in for Brussels. Couldn't get it. No name now comes, and there is 1 car ahead. That one Velez I was talking about, that GTO, right in front of Jacob. Jacob, is he going to go for this at the last moment? He won't. Gabri Martinez knows that he needed to shoot that gap there, and shoots it. He does. Like a firework, he goes sparkling out the corner, and the gap is still at 4/10 of a second. Still looking. Another car going to play a factor right now. Leon probably knows where the car's is. Leon, you don't slow down there. You don't slow down there. You've got to stay predictable. And now Jacob having to take, well, he's lucky that wasn't a slowdown. But all that momentum has just gone. I remind everybody, last time these two were close together on a final lap, Oran Park, final corner, Gabri Martinez made the send of the century to get the victory, but he's alongside. Gonna have to go around the outside of Blanchimont. They are side by side, level now. And Gabri with the better run. Hard braking, best of the late breakers. It's Jacob, he's gone wide. He's gone off. He will have to serve the slowdown. Gabri Martinez puts the pressure on, and it will be not only a victory, but the title goes back to Spain. Gabri Martinez wins at Spa. Oh, a little wobble there. Little wobble, but he'll win the championship at the same time of winning at Spa. He takes victory today at the round 12 at Spa.
No way. This is an amazing day two amazing finishes back to back from GSRC. This time the IMSA Vintage Series brings us yet again another fantastic finish. Noah Lumberg is going to bring it home for the GTOs today. Holy Toledo, I am breathless. You must be as well. The fans must be at the edge of their seats, if not standing up already. What a finish. Gabriel Martinez, at the end of the day, sold the dummy to Jacob Reed coming into the bus stop chicane, outbraked himself, didn't even need to throw his elbow out, didn't need to rub paint, just played mind games with Reed, and then was able to get it done at the end of the day. Just a fantastic drive from the entire field, and what a drift from Noel Lumberg.
Noel probably forgot that the finish line was here. He started drifting a little bit too early there, but he'll hold on to that as well. He gets it going. By the way, Mickey Friesen will be coming across the line. It's been a while since we've had to say this. It's been a season, but it's a podium finally for Mickey Friesen this season. And I did see Gabri and Jacob doing a nice little tandem drive up the Camel Straight. And Martin Krajcik will come home. He needs to be a little bit on it right now. He's 3 seconds away, but he will get that podium, and that's a very well-liked podium in the community as Krajcik goes up 5 places today. John Velez was the hard charger, up 6 places in the GTOs, but Krajcik up 5. He will take a podium right there. And Josh Brain will come home in 4th. Shadi Ahmad just getting some of the last drivers to cross the line. I think Jacobs parked this car in the pit lane that he don't need to be in, but Shadi Ahmad will be one of the last drivers. The South African will come on by. And Shadi Ahmad, one of the last drivers, and in fact the last driver out there. So that's gonna do it all for today. Scoring is complete. Gabri Martinez, so Noel Lumberg throwing a bit of fun out there, as you don't want to be parking up there, but yeah, he's found a place. He's destroyed the car. Well, you're not winning the Constructors' Championship when the championship is over, but Gabri Martinez will be winning the championship. And wow, a new name is etched to the record books as Gabri Martinez takes the victory from Jacob Reed. More importantly, wins the GTP championship. Stephanie Mayman, 1 race before at Le Mans, 2nd race, gets a P3. Seamus Power will be in 4th. Gail Gonzalez will go up into 5th. Dylan Freckleton will be in 6th. Brendan Lim 7th. Carlos Peralta 8th. Carlos Serrano will be in 9th up 7. Moises Escobar Galeo up 9 into 10th. And one more driver on the lead lap will be the car in P11, who is Lance Simon, as Christoph Jack had to take that tow at the end after having an issue. Will officially finish in 12th. That should also be a better result than Laus Olsson, who gets the P3 in the championship. Inaki Valero will be in 13th. Max Zymer will take a quiet 14th, and Xander Baruga 2 laps down in 15th. Laus Dolson 3 laps down in 16th. You're getting to the drivers now with issues out there. Gleb Noviok, we saw what happened there, having a misshift and blowing the engine. Timothy Reed having moments out there as well. Andrew Blackman in 19th. Juan Alba in 20th. 2 more drivers at the end. Eki Anderson will be in 21st. And Dominic Okiuso will be in 22nd. The GTOs, a little bit more straightforward.
Hopefully, for my sake, they are. Apologize for any name pronunciations in advance. Noel Lumberg took the win in front of Mickey Friesen in 2nd. Martin Krezerdick in 3rd. Josh Brain in 4th. Gregor Braith in 5th. Shady Ahmad in 6th. Jean J. Velez in 7th. Johnny Berg in 8th. Mikko Salvalainen in 9th. And Adrian Leon in 10th. Rounding out 11th place will be Thomas Delmuth, and then it'll be Thorben Pollock in 12th, Eddie Theobald in 13th, and Roman Bello in 14th, Brandon White in 15th, Emilio DeChari unfortunately taking a DNF on this race, 17th belonging to Sal Baez Carrera, and Paul Villar in 18th, and 19th for Alexander Bitter.
That runs through the field today, and I think that might be all she wrote for the race. I'm just wondering if anyone's going to be knocking on our door, our virtual door. And no one probably will be knocking, but we just never know. It's been a very interesting season. Of course, it's been an 11-round season. Just remember, because IMSA Classic 500 took away a week, so some of these drivers having to just hope that they're able to get some points out there where they could. And Gabri Martinez, the moment this car was changed, and remember there were changes to this season to the cars. There was one driver who right away clicked. It clicked for his driver, and it was Gabri Martinez. And Jacob Reed's been able to get that pace as well. He made that click. Stephanie Myman, remember, second time driving this car in a series, getting away with a P3, and you can almost say a Lesky Aloma at the start of the season, getting the car clicked together. Noah Lundberg having to settle up with a P2 in the championship because Audrius Valenteus decided to take the weekend off. No need to race when you've already got all 3 championships. So, with that said, that's going to do it all for us. Let's look at one of my favorite vantage points once again. And a thank you to the team that's brought you this action, from myself, Craig King, Segar Baski, and Daniel Costello. And, of course, Dougie Beard. Always never forget about Dougie and the cameras. I can't tell you what's up next because, well, we are off now. It's the end of the season. But I can tell you that we have more racing coming up, because the Classic Lotus Grand Prix, the Lotus 79s, head to Zolder tomorrow. That's going to be a very, very hot race. And then, of course, even though it's week 13, we do have one broadcast to bring you next Friday. Barcelona, you can hear Freddie Mercury singing in the distance for the Grand Prix Tour. And that could be interesting. Will Jacob Reed get another victory in the Grand Prix Tour? We all know what happened at Long Beach last night. We'll wait and see. And then, of course, week 1 will start off with Porsche Owners Club, and then we get to the Grand Prix Tour at Red Bull Ring. Well, championships are won or lost by just margins, and sometimes you have to make the mistakes or have to have the bad luck, and sometimes you have to give the bad luck. Not been the season for Jacob Reed, but a fantastic season for at the board for Gabri Martinez. Been here all the time, took home the title. And that's a story to boot, with some fantastic racing. What could happen next season? You're just going to have to wait and see. Until next time, race clean, race hard, and we will see you on the track.
This is iRacing.